Sonny, Joey, 500. Got some goats in the field.
Get ready for a shakedown.
Prepare for a shakedown. We from Philly where they clap like huddles when they break down. Get ready for a shakedown. We underdogs, my guy. Kinda used to all the hate now. Prepare for it, man. Y'all get it. My QB got swag. My wideout is award winning. His fly was fly. Joey and 500. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Here's a quote you can sing back. Shake squad up and don't be a dingbat. It's a shakedown.
Don't you frown. Here comes the shakedown.
Let's go.
Yo, by the way, Kick Dingbat here. Welcome to the Philly Shakedown podcast with Philly 500 and my better half, Joey Shakes. Joey, what's happening today, my man?
Much, man. Just enjoying it's been a crazy week for me, but we got the Super Bowl tomorrow, and
Super Bowl.
Yeah, I know
That's
the
what I
unwatchable Super Bowl. Very
The
unwatchable.
Super Bowl nobody wants. Yeah.
Right.
Well, all I can say is the Niners they're going down.
They're going down. Yeah.
Yes.
No doubt.
Little G Griffith, what's going on? Joe Eagle, what's up? Twits, Logan Motorsport, Deep Space, DB Cooper, David O'Brien, Red Rider, what's going on? Richie MC, what's up? Youngin, Bleeding Kelly Green, what's going on, everybody? My Basement MMA, Papa Eagle, Leon Banks, Make Money Not Friends. All right, Jameson Smith. Joshua says, good to hear I discovered 500 last week. Good to be a part of this. Thank you for discovering. Thank you, and welcome to Dingbat Nation. Welcome to the Philly Shakedown podcast.
It may be a blessing. It might be a curse, but you
don't
never know what you're going to get.
You never know what you're going to get. You know what I'm saying? I can tell you what, the Philly Shakedown podcast has helped my OnlyFans account grow exponentially. It really has. People love the squat cobblers. You know what I'm saying? I got a little buddy right here, by the way. It's biting my toes. What's up, buddy? So, yeah, man, it's been quite an interesting week, quite an interesting off season already, and we haven't even gotten into players who's going to get re-signed. First off, what did you think about the hiring of the linebacker coach? What were your thoughts on that?
Oh, yeah, Bobby King is not only he's not connected to Vic Fangio at all, but he's been a linebacker coach for a while. I mean, even's worked I think like 12 years. I mean, experience. That's all they're hiring right now. Could help out tremendously, which is great because we missed out on Mike Caldwell going to the Raiders, and then that other guy, I forgot his name. I think they had a first option that went somewhere else. Then Mike Caldwell went someone else. So feel really good about it, and could maybe get maybe the top linebacker over from Tennessee. That's a free agent as well. That's Shair with 163 tackles, 2 sacks. I mean,
Yeah, man. Just watching him, he's like a heat-seeking missile, man.
Mm-hmm.
He hits. I kind of like him a little bit. Nico and Steven Scher, Crow Killer, welcome to Dingbat Nation. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you guys so much. Appreciate you so much. Beauty is her name. What is going on? How are you? I liked it, but you're right. It's all about experience. And if you look at everybody that they've kind of hired so far, and then you kind of take what Covey was saying the other day, it's obvious that they really felt, and I kind of agree with them, that the problems were their coaches were too inexperienced. They didn't know how to handle certain situations. When the 49ers beat us, and if you want to say they put the blueprint out or not, there was nothing that this coaching staff could do. They could not fix the problem. They could not solve it. It was brutal. I really think also, I want to say this, and then you let me know what you think. But if you look at what Covey said, if you look at what Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown said, if you look what Jordan Mailata said, if you listen to Jason Kelsey, Fletcher Cox, they all seem to be very okay with the coordinators going. Like, it's just like, they got to go. But they all kind of stood up for Nick Sirianni. So I think they really feel that it was the coordinators that were the problem.
Yeah, and I think the head coach has been the biggest problem because look at the scapegoats are what Sean Desai, the scapegoats, Brian Johnson going to Washington, obviously, which we talk about that, but even look at Alex Tanney. I mean, look at Tanney going to the Colts with Shane Steichen as the quarterback coach. I mean, immediately hired after he left the Eagles within a few days. Like,
Right.
I don't know what's going on. Like, I mean, I do know what's going on. I feel like there's like a power trip going on with Nick this past year or something, because it felt like nobody had a say in anything. Like, I mean, I don't know if the front office said, hey, like, I know the ultimatum was, hey, fire your coaches to keep your job, but does Kellen Moore have more control over what offensive assistants he has in the building? And we know Vic Fangio has his blueprint all over this coaching staff.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. He's got the control.
Yeah.
The front office loves him. We know that. But Nick,
Yeah.
man, is big-headed, man. I mean, it's just that's what I'm getting from all these coaches getting jobs and leaving and getting hired. Like, why would Shane Steichen hire somebody, a quarterback coach immediately from our? I mean, immediately. Necessarily doesn't mean that they're bad with us. No, but it's crazy, man.
Well,
Crazy
we know that the combination of Nick Sirianni, Brian Johnson, Desai, all those inexperienced coaches together, they could not stop the bleeding. So now you're going to have guys with experience. I mean, you got experience on this staff like crazy. Like your offensive coordinator experience, defensive coordinator experience, your defensive line coach, former defensive coordinator, your linebacker coach, tons of experience at linebacker coach. So you got guys, even the defensive back coach they just got from Denver. He's another one who, I mean, he interviewed for defensive coordinator jobs already. So these guys are very experienced. And I think that's really what we're seeing is the front office really felt that they didn't have enough experience to help handle what was going down.
There's even rumors about Brandon Staley coming to the Philadelphia Eagles as a defensive assistant, and he worked with Vic Fangio as a linebacker coach when he was defensive coordinator with the Bears. Then when Fangio went to Denver as the head coach, Brandon Staley went over there, did pretty well. And then Brandon Staley had the defensive coordinator job with the Rams, did great, and then got the head coaching job to the Chargers and didn't do well. So,
what would you think about Brandon Staley coming?
I don't know. I mean, Vic knows him better than probably all of us do, but I mean, I don't like the way he ran his, the defense.
Boy, he's a choker though as a head coach.
He's not good.
I mean, dude, I can't tell you how many games the Chargers lost. I think directly because of how he coached.
But some guys are like that. Some guys are just better positional coaches than they are like defensive coordinators. That's just how it is. Or just offensive guys to offensive coordinators. Like, I don't know what the difference is. Maybe you just have too much time. I don't know I don't know how these offensive coordinators that get head coaching jobs and they can't get an offense going with the better label, with the a bigger salary. Like, I don't know how much more. I know as you have more responsibility as a head coach or a defensive coordinator going from a positional coach or a coordinator job, but I don't get why these guys fail so hard at it sometimes. Maybe it's less pressure. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things. So, I mean, I think we're pretty much. Is there any empty spots that we have left? I mean, even the quarterback coach is another one.
Wide receiver, is Aaron Moorhead leaving?
I think Aaron Moorhead's still here right now. I think he's still here. So I don't think he left as of yet.
They're keeping the running back coach. Moore's keeping him.
Okay.
I mean, so here's my question about the running back. Like this like Deuce used to, when Deuce was here, he used to like, there wasn't a specific play for a certain running back. Like Deuce would sub the guys in and out whenever he felt like, and Deuce would know, Deuce would know the playbook, obviously, but he would know what running back to sub in and sub out on certain plays. So I don't know how they did. Well, I don't know, Kenny G, I don't know, but
Kenny G, man, sing a song, Jeez. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, overall, would you say like, do you feel excited about the staff though as a whole, what they've done? Like me personally, I feel like if they would have had this staff last year, we would never have been in the situation we were in.
Yeah, I think they did a lot more than I thought they were going to do. I didn't think they were going to change so many positional guys. Like the coordinators, we knew they had to go, but as of positional coaches, I didn't think they were changing that much and bringing in some veteran guys that maybe you could have it here for a little bit more than 2 years, maybe a few more years. So, I think, you have guys that have been coordinators to head coaches, guys are coming back to, what they're good at doing originally. I think, having all that experience is really going to help. So,
right. Yeah. I'm pretty, I'll be honest. Vic Fangio and Kellen Moore were not my first choices, but they weren't my last choices either. So I'm okay with them. I really like the defensive line coach hire. I like the defensive back coach and the line. I like what they've done so far. Question is now, how does it translate into going to the all season, going with, bringing back certain players and stuff? I think Swift has to be a priority to bring back. I just don't see how you can let him walk.
Let me tell you something. If they sign Boston Scott back and all of a sudden Gainwell's the only one here by training camp and they think that he's the natural pass catcher that Kellen Moore wants in his offense, then that Nick's got his hands all over it.
Yeah.
What pisses me off is this: when before we hired Kellen Moore, it was like at the press conference, Nick was like, "Oh, I want someone to bring in fresh ideas." Like, no. He's making it seem like, that he's still going to run the offense, but the ideas are going to be brought to him. No. That's not how it's going, bro. You're getting kicked to the side. Like, we want a new offense put in. Like, this isn't adding on to what you want. It's not happening that way.
Nick to me at that press conference, he looked like when I was in school and I would get in trouble and be at the principal's office and my dad was there next to me talking. I'm just kind of sitting there like this. That's what Nick Sirianni looked like at the press conference, dude. I don't think he has any say, any power, any control at all. Like
Howie was the angry parent.
Yeah, he was. Howie was bitch slapping his ass all over the place. The thing is, though, I really do think that they should make a play for Swift to come back. And I'm worried because when you get a guy that just went over 1,000 yards, and look, I think, and you probably think this too, he went over 1,000 yards and he was underutilized. He wasn't even utilized correctly. He's gonna get more money in free agency than coming back with the Eagles. That's what I think.
Who is
Swift? Are the Eagles going to be willing to give give Swift the money that he could probably get on the open market?
Yeah, but what's the market? That's nobody values running backs like that.
Well, that's the key.
You would rather franchise. You would rather tag a running back. That's what you would rather. You would rather, if you drafted one, just saying if you drafted one early, you would rather take a 5th-year option and keep a guy in the building for 5 years than extend him. You would rather take that. You would rather tag a running back for 2 years straight than extend a running back with big money like that. Well,
let me ask you this question. I'm throw this out there, okay? This is a crazy question now. Maybe I should respond to this. This wonderful super chat first. Eagles Army Down Under, thank you for the super chat, man. It says, hey guys, do you think Dean's injuries have anything to do with the lack of training that the Eagles do in the preseason? It's a great question. I don't think necessarily his injuries do, but I do think some of the sloppy play definitely is affected by it. What are your thoughts?
How are you? Well, that's what I'm saying. How are you supposed to, as a coaching staff from this past year, how are you supposed to evaluate your roster when you've literally destroyed every position with the schemes, and not fitting to the player's strengths? How are you supposed to evaluate to see who you're trading, who you're releasing, who you're keeping? I honestly don't know, but it kind of connects to the draft when we drafted Nakobe Dean and all these rumors on all these injuries that he had, all this stuff that was going on. Right. And we were kind of like, where's all this coming from? And everyone thought how he did maybe spread the rumor on purpose so he would drop in the draft, or there was some weird stuff going on. I think you said that. Yeah,
I definitely thought that. I think he's a schemer. Yeah.
So I mean, you're on IR 2 times. He missed a big part of the offseason. Like, I hate when players like Quez Watkins, Nakobe Dean, like those guys missed a big part of the joint practice, all that stuff. You have to be in the offseason program, because if you just show up in the regular season, he looked horrible. I mean, but how much do we blame the scheme, and how much do we blaming these coaches for putting these players in these failed situations? And like you said, the practices, like we saw what Javon Hargrave said about Eagles practices, that they're, very relaxed and they're outgoing and not demanding like they should be, like how the 49ers practice. The whole offseason program has to change if you want to produce the players you want to produce.
Did they cancel half of it? The last 2 or 3 mini camps? They're like, we're just gonna not have it. And they didn't even have it.
I mean, it worked for 1 year, but the thing is, like, mini camp, you're not going to go 100% crazy. You're not going to go like crazy during that time, but it's nice to have it. Guys are in the building, get acclimated to, they're going to be doing stuff without pads on. Maybe they're going to run some, Kellen Moore's offense without pads, stuff like that. Like, it helps just be in the building. I know Nick doesn't want to get the injuries, but these guys need reps. I mean, it's got to be a tough camp. It's got to be.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what they do. And
is Darius Slay too old to practice? Is he doesn't want to get too tired because
Well, that's what he says, right? I mean, he doesn't want to tackle. I mean, if you look at the way they tackled in that final game, there's no way that those guys should not be practicing all the time.
Yeah.
Crazy. Fabio, thank you for the super chat. He goes, Chip had intense training and players got hurt. I don't remember players getting hurt.
No, they never did.
They
never got hurt.
Kelly had one of the healthiest rosters all the time, right? I mean, Doug, they got hurt. There was a lot of injuries in 2016, 2017, 2018. But I think under Chip, I don't think they got hurt that much.
No. Yeah, it was the sports science stuff. What Chip did was all this secret sports science stuff they did with the smoothies and all this offseason. I mean, it worked because these guys played, especially Malcolm Jenkins. I forgot what the number was in a season, but it was a lot of snaps. It was
Chip
crazy.
Kelly was sick in the CIA on those players. They were supposed to wear like trackers monitoring what time they went to bed, what time they were sleeping, and I think the NFL had to tell them, like, you can't track them at home. With their movements. Sorry. Chip was a little crazy. 7 Joe, thank you for super chat. He goes, I just met the Slim Reaper at Mandalay Bay, and every Eagle fans I spoke to said we better bring back Swift. We better bring back. How was old Slim Reaper? I love Devontae Smith. I love the guy. Toryville says, why are teams like ours obsessed with running Fangio's scheme when the Chiefs have been having more success? Why not use Spag's scheme? Well, Spag's scheme comes off of the tree of the Jim Johnson scheme, which is more what I would like to see the Eagles do. I would much rather see that than what we got with Vic Fangio. But if we're going to run what Fangio does, it might as well be Fangio that's doing it.
I mean, what helps Kansas City, because they're so lucky right now, what helps them so much is that they've had the same DC for 5 years. Right. I mean, it helps to have the, two guys, Spags could be a head coach if he wanted, but he likes where he's staying. And, Matt Nagy's calling the plays. Eric Bieniemy just got interviewed over there just a few days ago, left Washington because he made a lateral move to Washington thinking he was going to get the head coaching job. So he just interviewed for, I mean, when you have sustainable coaches that they're set up for years if they draft well.
They've also done well drafting. I mean, the Karlaftis, Sweet Chin Music. I mean, he's been pretty good. He's been pretty good. They've hit some players on the draft that's important. You've got to hit those picks, man. But yeah, I agree with you. I agree. I hope they keep Swift. I really do. I hope they bring him back. And if they don't bring him back, what do you do? Because we're talking about running back and the devaluation of the running back position. At some point, it's going to become a bargain for Howie Roseman to pay a running back. and say, you know what, these running backs are so cheap. Why not go out and get this guy?
If you're not going to get Gibson, Gibson would fit really well. And that's
would you go after Saquon? If it was a bargain, I'm saying that, because
if he was
the
cheap,
position is cheap.
Yeah, if he was cheap, yeah. Like I heard they're going to tag. I heard they're going to tag him.
I thought they announced that there weren't.
Maybe something new.
Yeah, I read something earlier in the week saying that they're not going to tag him. He's going to be a free agent. It sounds like he's going to end up with the Chargers. Apparently, the Chargers want to make a big push, which is kind of good because Swift was also circulating with the Chargers as being interested. So if they sign Barkley, then that'll save them from taking Swift. But I personally think Barkley with the Eagles would be top 3 running back.
Even Eckler could be another one for the Eagles as
well.
I
would rather have Swift than
Eckler. I know. I think he's just a better talent than any of those running backs. That's just me, and I so underutilized last year. And
you talked about, and I don't mean to cut you off, but you talked about Kellen Moore and using running backs in the passing game.
He's
DeAndre Swift is perfect for that. It makes no sense to not bring DeAndre Swift back. But you got to bring him back, and you got to actually use him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was so if you look at the players on offense last year, you look at Swift, underutilized. You look at Goddard, vastly underutilized. You look at even Devontae Smith. These guys were all underutilized last year, Joey. They didn't know how to use these guys.
Yeah,
it's frustrating.
I know the MO isn't to re-sign running backs, but you can't just have these guys on 1 years every year. You need, depending what the number is, I don't know what the number is going to be. If he wants 5.2 a year, give it to him. And if it's at that price, fine. That's a bargain. You know what I mean? But over 10, 11, 12 million, I don't know. I don't know if the Eagles want to put that much into running back. The offensive line does a lot. And, can make a lot of running backs look good. We've had 2 1,000-yard running backs the last 2 years. You don't see that. You don't see 2 1,000-yard receivers 2 years straight and 2 1,000-yard running backs, 2 years. You don't see that shit. But
yeah, exactly. Well, the one thing I like about Moore is that if you look at what I would consider Dak Prescott's best year, we threw 37 touchdowns. He had Amari Cooper, Cedric Wilson, Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, and they used those guys. They used them all. So if Kellen Moore could get the Eagles to distribute the ball and utilize guys like Goddard and guys like Devontae Smith, because it really felt like when the Eagles, when AJ Brown goes on his tear, it seems like they almost started force feeding him, and that's the only guy that they would really try to focus on going to, instead of not using the other guys, Well, I think they overdid it.
Even Kellen Moore has been even rumors today on it's not a secret that at least with Kellen Moore, you're going to get the best out of every position that he will. He doesn't devalue wide receiver threes. He doesn't devalue tight ends. He loves tight ends. So the wide receiver 3 position was an interesting one because I think they want to upgrade that position crazy. I think they want to get a star in that position. And I think they're not just going to get a guy that's fast, because I think we've had too many of the Quez Watkins / Shelton Gibsons that have all the speed, but can't route run, can't catch 50-50 balls, can't, do all these other things. And I think they're going to upgrade that. They're going to upgrade that position, no doubt. I'm not saying Covey's going to be a full timer there, but damn it, why not use him? The Eagles try to be creative at the end of the year, try to do some different things, but it just, I give them a cookie for doing it, but it just didn't work. Like, it just, they strayed away from it,
Yeah. I see if you could bring Swift back, I see a mid-rounds, then you go another running back, and you bring in another running back, like a complementary piece to him. And then I think the third wide receiver, how much are you willing to pay a third wide receiver in free agency when you got the other 2 guys? So drafting a receiver, maybe second, third round, may not be a bad idea at all.
But statistically, when you look at the free agent running backs, like what's his name from the Browns?
Which one?
I forgot. The receiver for the Browns. I had his name in my head and I lost it. But Elijah Moore from
Okay.
the Browns.
Okay.
You got Hollywood Brown is another guy. Didn't really have a crazy year, but I think would be really nice on the inside with all the attention you're going to get from the outside. I think would be a nice mismatch. I mean, Tyler Boyd, a little bit older. If you want to pay a little bit extra money for him from the Bengals. So I mean, there's guys out there. No joke. There are dudes out there.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see what they do. I also think that one of the things that they've got to do before free agency even starts is you gotta figure a way to free up money and extend Hassan Reddick, because I do think that's going to be an issue. I think Reddick wants to get paid. He hinted around it last camp that this year was, he was going to want to get paid what he thinks he's worth. So I think you have to try to extend him, which will save I think $11 million, something like that.
But with him, it's a $21 million cap hit this year. They're not keeping him at that. So they're not going to keep him on this last year on that number. It's not going to happen. Extend him, I mean, literally between cutting Byard post June for 14 and the extension with Hassan Reddick for 11, you're going to have like $50 million. I mean, and the Eagles never really have that amount of money, but we know that's going towards the defense, no doubt. Don't start. Tell me this. What happens every time the Eagles start free agency? What happens?
What happens?
Like, are they usually active? Or are they quiet?
No, they're usually first, maybe the first day. They're usually quiet.
Yeah, they're mostly quiet.
And then they strike like twice at once.
James Bradbury.
Yeah, right. But if you remember a few years ago, I'll take it back a step back. If you look at going into the 2017 season, and then you look at going into the 2023 season, the one thing that they were very aggressive in free agency leading up to both those Super Bowl runs. Now, if you remember the year they went and they got Hassan Reddick, they struck day one. That was a day one. I think weren't we live streaming that day or something? They struck Hassan Reddick day one of free agency. See, I think they're going after another pass rusher. I think that the first move they're going is to get another pass. They need another pass rusher.
Yeah,
they have to get one. I don't think they have enough pass rushing. I mean, dude, we were worst on third downs last year, getting to quarterbacks. It was bad. They're going to need one.
Vic Fangio was ranked third in pressures. I forgot they were top 10 in sacks. So I think it was 58, 55, something between 50 to 60 sacks last year. Which is big. So he's going to be looking for guys. He's going to have to. I mean, there's no way they're keeping it. I mean, like you said, if Nolan Smith produced tremendously, it probably wouldn't be that bad. If Nolan Smith had 6 to 10 sacks this past year, But the problem is now is because Nolan Smith had that stinger, during the preseason game, he missed some time, and then when he got back, he just played special teams, and they had him listed as a Sam linebacker. And then, Desai had that stupid excuse at the middle of the year. Oh, we only have a certain amount of plays we can give to certain guys. And it's your first round pick. You don't even know, and Derek Burnett's taking all his snaps. Like what a wasted year for Nolan Smith, dude.
Right. Seriously. And the question is can we really say, can we 100% say, yeah, we can count on Nolan Smith to come in and be the first round pick that we expect him. We just don't know yet. We haven't seen enough yet. So I think you have to go out and be aggressive and get another pass rusher. I really think that's going to be their big move. I see one big pass rusher, and then what I think is then you'll get, middle of the road moves. I think that's where you're going to see linebacker. But I think they go heavy defense free agency. And then I think they address some offensive depth issues in the draft. That's what I think they're going to do. Is my prediction.
Yeah. I get it.
Young Truth, they were super chat. Did Joey check out my boy Keon Coleman yet?
No, I haven't yet. He's from what I was told, he was like a mini DK Metcalf, like another DK type player.
question is did Joey check out something about Mary yet? That's what
No.
everybody really wants to know.
No, we don't want to know.
We're gonna have to do like an all-season something about Mary watch party with Joey Shakes.
Yeah. Everybody just
We're gonna
watching
have
me
to do
react
it.
to something.
We're gonna watch you watch something about Mary. Right? Yeah. If you know, can't we like sync it up now where you're watching movies at like the same time and shit? Don't they
Yeah,
do
put a
stuff like
timer
that?
on. Yeah, you could do that.
Oh, 5,000 pounds. You're so original. Oh my God, whatever I can do. Go read a book. Go clean your room. Go listen to your mom and dad. Get the hell out of here. You know what I mean? Sorry, I had to get that out. But yeah, it's no Breaking Bad anymore. Don't you miss Better Call Saul? Just saying.
I miss it. I miss it tremendously.
There ain't shit. And where's like Tulsa King's coming back? Like I need season 2 already. You know what I mean?
I know.
Arnold Davis super chat. What about Jerry Jeudy?
I don't know what's going on.
Would Jeudy be willing to be like a third wide receiver?
Not yeah. I don't know what's going on over there with him. And I mean, I don't know. He's got a Nelson Aguilar mentality thing going on. He's got the Aguilar mindset because remember, he talked a lot of crap before a lot of games and he like totally just flopped in a lot of games. I mean, I know the Broncos have been pretty bad, but
yeah, no, now, you know, a lot of people talk about Patrick Surtain. I don't think Denver's trading Patrick Surtain. The only way I think they trade him is if they have a chance to get a franchise quarterback. Otherwise, I don't see that happening.
I mean, if that mock trade was like actually like if it was like literally down to a first and a fifth, it's almost like enticing to take it. I know trading Josh Sweat's probably not the best thing, but
Joe, you got fans, man.
Elvis adopted. No, man, definitely not. No doubt.
Yeah. Dad says Oz is the perfect team player. He blocks. He made every clutch catch thrown his way. Yeah, he wasn't bad, but I don't know if he's good enough. But the question is isn't he a free agent?
Yeah.
So we'd have to resign him.
The problem is we don't know what half these guys could have done with a competent offense being run. Like he had over 550 yards with the Falcons before he got here with a couple touchdowns. He had his best year before he got here. And he probably had his worst year coming here. Honestly.
Yeah. And that's the problem with the whole offense and even the defense last year, like, and the way things went. It was so bad at some points where it's like, how do you even judge who was at fault?
How do you evaluate?
How do you evaluate it? It was really hard because everything was just so messed up last year. It's true. Sydney family, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Need more defensive line rotation like 2022. I agree. Defensive tackle Christian Wilkins, 6'4", 310 free agent from Miami, had 9 sacks and is above average run stopper. Could be an option. Well, and he was with Vic Fangio last year too. So I mean, we got to keep that in mind.
Yeah,
so
he was actually my frat of the 21 draft. That was when we drafted what's his name? We drafted at 21. We drafted Dillard in that draft. That Clemson defensive line was that year was great, and I wanted one of those guys. And Christian Wilkins was like on the top of my list that year.
Well, I mean, you know, you keep an eye. I mean, defense. I mean, look, it looks like Fletcher Cox. I mean, we talked about this earlier. He was on a podcast and he was talking about possibility of playing in Pittsburgh. Like he was talking about being interested in playing for the Steelers. Now, I don't know how serious he is or not, but it doesn't sound like Fletcher Cox is coming back to the Eagles, even if he doesn't retire. You know,
I mean, I don't think they want to pay. I don't think they want to pay either like a 1-year, $13 million deal. Like I don't think they're interested in I think they just want to get younger at this point. Like I don't want them to just re-sign Brandon Graham just because it's an emotional re-sign that he wants to be here one more year and that's all it is. Is he going to produce? You know, under Fangio, you know, we'll see, but I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, I think it's a
Fletch
very,
had a
you know,
good year. He just
did.
has to go
Yeah.
down in price a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, it may be the case. ABC Baller says, Philly, what happens? What I missed, Fletcher Cox trying. Well, Fletcher Cox went on Cam Hayward's podcast, and he was talking about how he would like to play in Pittsburgh, and it seemed to be somewhat serious that he would be interested in playing in Pittsburgh. So um, I don't know if he was just trying to be complimentary of the Steelers or whatnot, but he might not think he's coming back when you've got two defensive tackles that are first round picks. You know, how much are you going to pay Fletcher Cox, like you said? And then you got, Milton Williams still. They got some players. So
Ojomo,
I think that he's probably not coming back. Yeah, I think Fletcher's probably not coming back. Brandon Graham, I could see coming back because I think Brandon Graham will actually take less money to stay in Philly. Like, I think that's more important for him to actually finish his career there in one place, Chris got him out for 27 months. Thank you so much. He goes, I see how he take a defensive end with the 22nd pick if there's a guy there that has a first-round grade. If not, McConkey or Tony Franklin will be there. Yeah, I mean, McConkey, he's not related to Phil McConkey of the Giants. You probably don't remember him. Oh, he drove me nuts. What an annoying person. He was an annoying player. Eagles Army down there. Thank you for the super chat. He goes, anyone else worried if one of those quarterbacks drop, Howie will use one of our second-round picks to take him for the Philly quarterback factory? I don't think they will. I don't think they will. I really think that a lot of the reason why they took Jalen Hurts was because, of course, they felt that they missed out on Russell Wilson and they didn't want to do that again. But I think a lot of it had to do with Carson Wentz getting hurt again.
Yeah,
in that playoff game with Seattle.
When Howie told him to put on his helmet, otherwise he's going to get kicked off the team, and slapped his wife. Remember that?
Slapped his wife, and she's crying, and he's throwing up in the toilet, and he's going, I don't give a shit you have a concussion. Get out there on the field.
Somebody played that shit so well with those text messages, and like you read it, and it's just,
my God.
It's just
and then when he drafts Jalen Hurts, he sends the happy face. Oh my God, that was awesome. That was so awesome. Like I'm like, if that's true, I kind of respect Howie a little bit here. Like I gained respect for him over it. It was hilarious. Death Row's out. They were super chat. He goes, the NFL's got to get back to developing players, especially our team. We wouldn't have to draft so many people if we knew how to develop them. Well, when you don't draft right, then you have to go spend money in free agency. And that's what happens. When you look at a pick like, why is A.J. Brown here? Well, A.J. Brown's here because the Eagles blew first-round picks on multiple receivers. They could not draft a receiver until Devontae Smith. So it forces them to have to go out, make a trade, and pay a guy. So, it's just the way it is. Dalton Gray, I remember for 24 months, he goes, you the man, Denzel. Cowboys eat corn. What the hell? That's awesome. Now, the Cowboys hired Mike Zimmer as their defensive coordinator. I got to tell you, I think that's great for the Eagles. Have torn his defenses up in the past, dude. I think the Cowboys made a big mistake with that hire. I really do.
What, Zimmer?
Yeah. The Eagles have scored points on his defense, man.
Oh, yeah.
The Eagles have killed his defenses in the past. Now he's going to be the coordinator in Dallas. Okay, I'll take it. Downtown Tony Brown. Thank you for super chat, my man. He goes, this is Super Tony. What's up, Super Tony? He goes, I lost a bet to my boss, and he had me change my name to this. Probably will change it back when football season starts. All right. Well, now we know Super Tony is Downtown Tony Brown. I like it. That's a great name. I kind of like it, Let's see. Star Force says, Philly and Joey, why do teams like the Chiefs get to retain their coaches for years and teams like the Eagles don't? No, go ahead.
They believe in what they're doing, and they believe in what they're doing. And sometimes it's just luck. Sometimes these coaches, don't want to be. They like where they're at, and they don't want to change anything. I mean, it depends on the person, really. It's just what it is. I mean, they know what type of team they have every year. They're almost Super Bowl contenders every year,
right?
So it's a reason to stay with those jobs.
They did. I mean, and they did. I mean, to be fair, they did lose some people. They lost Kafka. Bieniemy left. You look at a guy like Spags. He kind of had a coaching job already, so he wasn't going to get a head coaching job anytime soon. So it's just the way it is. I guess I don't know. It seems like every time we have success, we always lose our coaches. And I think a lot of times it's because they tend to be younger. I'm telling you right now, if the Eagles go out and have a great year, Kellen Moore's gone. He'll get a head coaching job somewhere. It will happen. It'll
not after a year.
Probably be the Colts.
Yeah, but not after a year. They'll have him for 2 years.
You think so?
No, you can't. He can't leave after a year. You could block within the first year. After the first year, they can block. They could block Kellen Moore from talking to anybody.
Really, I thought only in a lateral move you could do that.
If it's for an upgraded move to head coach, if Kellen Moore wants to be a head coach, I think they could block him. I don't see why they can't.
Right. Okay. Well, that's good. We need coaches to actually.
I think he's set up to be the next head coach. Like, what if the Eagles lose? Say they play what if the Eagles lose 3 out of 4 games?
Oh, you think Kellen Moore's here to take?
Johnny's spot? 100%.
I haven't thought about that.
Well, because Kellen Moore tried to get the job in 21. He interviewed for the job in 21. I wouldn't see why not. So I think it's a good advantage for us too. Becomes a head coach here. He's the play caller for a lot of years. If he's that successful, it's a win-win for us if he becomes the head coach. If it goes well, yeah.
Right. Plus the players are going to hate playing for Zimmer. They will cry. Yeah, well, you see DeMarcus Lawrence crying about how they were tired. Like, oh, yeah, we lost to Green Bay. We were tired.
They all been bitching.
Tired. What a bunch of babies.
All of them.
Tony says they cannot block a coach from – that's what I thought too, but, I mean, I don't know.
I thought it was different.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I hope that you're right because I hate to lose another coach after a year, especially if he goes out and does a good job. I expect the offense to really rebound and be a lot better next year.
I mean, don't you think they talk about these things before they get hired? Like, if you have a great, I don't know. I mean, aren't these things talked about? Like, we really, we just want you to fix this for a year. I mean, there's no way they say anything like that. It's got to be, you're back to square one if he leaves. Like, then
But let's say you're the owner, right? Like, let's say you're Jeffrey Lurie, and Howie to a lesser extent. But let's say you have Kellen Moore, who now has an opportunity to become a head coach somewhere. I mean, do you really want to keep a guy from having a chance to get his dream job? Like, I wouldn't be able to keep a guy. I couldn't do that.
Yeah, I get it.
I couldn't say, nah, you can't have that promotion because you got to stay with us.
That's why Nick is useless. Then I just feel like he's just, I don't know, because he brings, other than a motivational speaker, what does he bring into the table? If he's not going to have control over anything, if he's not good at doing something, what's the point?
I think it's to smoke pot before press conference. You ever notice he always looks high?
These press conferences were like,
his eyes are all red. He looks like he's been smoking ganja. That's what it looks like to me. I think he's getting high in the coach's office. That's what I really think. But who knows? It's really gonna be an interesting all season. I think Vic Fangio is going to have a lot of pull in this organization, and I think he's going to make a play for some linebackers, man.
You think he has? Oh, that's what I was going to ask you next. Do you think he's going to have pull for players that he wants?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Why did they?
think,
I don't get it. So before he even was a consultant, like what? Like how did they? Where's the connection with Vic Fangio with Jeffrey Lurie, or where's the connection with Vic Fangio before he got here? Like if was he only highly anticipated like after he was here or during? Like I don't have the respect that they have for him. Where did it come from? That's what I'm trying to find the connection with Vic Fangio and the organization. So I really don't know.
I mean, they probably respected him as a coach, and then he came in as a consultant. And I think they were trying to get ahead of the fact that, because if you remember the first year with Jonathan Gannon, it looked like he was going to possibly take that Houston Texans job. Remember? And so we almost lost him the first year. And I think they figured that he was probably going to become a head coach in year 2. So they wanted to have a defensive coordinator ready to go. And so they kept him on as a consultant for that. And then Jonathan Gannon screwed the Eagles and lied to them. And then, and said, I'm coming back. And then Fangio went and took the Dolphins job. I don't know where everything else happened. But whatever reason, they like him a lot,
Agreed.
Dave K says, Philly, Joey, I'm working in the city on a call, fellas. Woo, money, time and a half. Woo. Yeah, make that money, man. Good for you.
Can't miss those time and a half days. Definitely.
No.
I remember those days.
And every day, I put in at least a couple time and a half every day for a few hours. That's all I do. Pierre says, I think the coaching moves were what we needed. Defense will be number one priority. Vic will get his guys. I think so. The question is what guys from Miami could come over. I saw some people talking about Xavier Howard. I don't want him.
No,
he's too old.
No,
31 years old. I don't want another 30-year-old corner. I want to see them. I would love to see the Eagles in the first round at 22 draft a defensive back, draft a corner.
You know what? And because Kellen Moore was with the Chargers, obviously, I understand he was on offense, but Asante Samuel Jr.'s got one more year left. Very cheap this year. Make a nice trade.
We wanted him in the draft.
I know.
Yeah, that would be great. But, they are getting rid. They're trying to. The Chargers apparently are trying to trade Khalil Mack and possibly Bosa.
Yeah.
So, they're going to be moving some things around. I do think Jim Harbaugh is going to do a great job there, though.
I think so too.
He's going to do great. Lorenzo, thank you for super chat. Who do you guys have us taking in the first round? In terms of player, I don't have any specific players as of right now. I'm more thinking about positional, and we got to see where free agency goes. But I really think that they need to go cornerback in the first round. That's what I think. I think the cornerback position, there'll probably be some decent corners at 22, and I would go corner, and then maybe in the second round I'd go like linebacker, running back, linebacker, receiver, something like that. That's what I would like to see.
Yeah, especially if they're probably most likely going to keep Slay, which looks like it's going to happen. Like you want to draft a corner in the first round, have him pair up with Slay, learn, obviously be as a first round talent, you want him to be, good on the field as soon as he hits the field, but you want to pair him up a little bit with a vet and just have him get better. And I think that's where they should go if that's what they're going to do. Unless they make a trade for a corner, like that's the only thing I have that's left. So
right. Shizzo, David Super Chat goes, Tom Brady said beating the blitz is on quarterback and his ability to read the defense pre-snap and get his team into the correct play. Only so much a coach can do. Yeah, I agree with that. But if you don't have certain things installed in your offense for the quarterback to go to, then what is the quarterback supposed to do? Like, I don't know how many hot routes the Eagles actually had in their, like even in their offense because they never ran it. Now, maybe that's because Hurts didn't check into those things. I don't know, but it definitely is on the quarterback to some level to be able to read when a team's blitzing. And the really good defensive coordinators, and Jim Johnson was great at this, is able to hide hide where the blitz is coming from. And that's why young quarterbacks would never beat the Eagles, because they didn't see enough to know what was coming. But he is right. It does play on the quarterback.
Yeah.
It does.
No, it does. I know people want to blame Jalen Hurts entirely so bad. It just seems like that now, where everyone just passes the coaching staff and they want to blame the quarterback before anything. Yeah, he had a regressing year, no doubt. But between the route combinations, the big leaks that came out that, Jalen Hurts was trying to talk to Sirianni, the disconnect with Brian Johnson, and trying to tell Nick, hey, like, let's get some intermediate routes. Let's try work middle of the field. And it was just ignored. Then what is he supposed to do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not even, there's no, look at the route trees for the year of every game on the stats of where these routes were. Middle of the field was empty. There was no routes in the middle of the field all year. It was like two guys running the same route on the left and the right. I mean, it's nuts, dude. Like, you're running play action. How are you going to run play action a million times in a game, especially when you don't even have a run game? It's like common football 101. It's like, it's set up to fail, dude.
It is, because especially when you don't, when a team is not, especially if Kenneth Gainwell is in the backfield, he ain't running the ball, and then you run a play action and nobody bites on your play action. All the play action does is give that extra second for the defensive lineman to get to the quarterback. Nobody bites on it at all. It's crazy. Arnold makes it. Thank you for super chat. He goes, safety in the second round. Yeah, they need safety. What are your thoughts of kind of where our safety position, where we sit right now?
It's empty. It's a mess. I mean, it's Sidney Brown not being around. I think Sidney Brown's gonna be a better safety than he will a cornerback, to be honest, because I think he covers the field really well. And obviously the tackling needs to be better with everybody. I think it's just another coaching issue as well. And I think as the games went on, everyone just deteriorated mentally and just didn't give a crap. No sense of urgency. Reed Blankenship's your only guy right now. I mean, that's really it. Justin Evans was a waste. He's been hurt every single year. Got hurt again this year, knee injury, out half the season. So Reed Blankenship's not probably. I think Reed will make the roster as a backup, but I don't think he's in prime to start. And I don't know how much money they're going to be putting into that position. Like I said, but we need to make some moves with our roster before we need to see what money we're dealing with. North of 28 million is not a lot of money. If they make those two moves, like we said, the Hassan Reddick extension, the Bayard post June cut, and doesn't mean they can't make these moves, before June, just because, we don't have the money, we can't make these moves. No, they can make the moves and then obviously cut those guys to free up the space after June. They're not just going to wait till after June, because they have the money available. So I don't know. I don't know. Big money wise, I think my plan in front of Nakobe Dean at linebacker, they should sign a linebacker to big money. They should get a prove-it guy like Devin White. And I think they should draft one more in the draft.
Yeah.
I think they got to put as much there as possible, honestly.
Yeah, I think, that's why I would probably go premier pass rusher, try to get the best pass rusher I can to go with this team.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would get a linebacker and then a safety in free agency. And then I would come back and draft a linebacker in early in the draft. That's how I would address the position, but we're going to see it, really depending upon what they do leading up into free agency is going to tell us a lot. I think there's also guys like Avonte Maddox. Like, what are they going to do with Maddox? You got this kid, Isaiah Rodgers, coming in. He looks good, man. He was pretty good, and he's coming back. He looks ready to go. Do you trade Avonte Maddox? Some people talk about moving him to safety. I don't like him at safety.
No.
I don't like him at the safety position.
You can't come off a big injury every year and expect him to play well. And he looked horrible. I mean, he couldn't even contest anything. He was 5-10 yards behind everybody he was chasing. So 4 injuries in 2 years. It's way too much. He's a liability. It's already, you lost McPherson and Maddox. Like, you had to switch guys at nickel, rotate. You don't rotate guys at nickel. How many games do we had to change our secondary every week, dude? You're putting they flirted putting Bradbury on the inside. He's not an inside guy. They tried putting, Eli Ricks isn't an inside guy. Keely Ringo's not an inside. They all got burned. I mean, they all got.
Yeah.
It's it's set to fail, but you free up $7.1 million, but you're not keeping Avonte Maddox on a $10 million cap hit. It's not happening.
No,
it's not even worth it.
No, it's not. It's February 10th. I'm sure he's already hurt his big ass toe already. I bet you it's already injured. It's always injured. Lorenzo Davis super chat. He goes, "Did you guys see how much complaining the Niners have been doing?" Dude, all they do is complain. They were even complaining about the field when they played Kansas City. Did you hear that one? They were saying that they were slipping when they played Kansas City in their Super Bowl. Like, what are you? You're stealing our shit now? Shizo Flex Davis super chat. He goes, "Eagles are flawed organizational. We have no identity. Steelers and Ravens, great run game and great defense. What are we honestly? Let's be honest. Well, we're supposed to be a high-powered offense.
It's a new year now.
And don't break defense, but that has a pass rush that gets to the quarterback. No, I mean, listen, I think the Eagles' identity from a franchise standpoint is to have a very nasty defense. And I really think that we have gotten away from some of those things over the, last 5 to 10 years. And I would like to see them bring it back, I really would.
Agreed.
Let me see here. SMD Eagles, Esmerita Booth, what's happening with you? How are you? Don't forget to like both streams, support 500, support Joey Shakes, subscribe if you're new, go Birds. Thank you. And we got over 500 people in the chat, so hit the like. Make sure you guys subscribe to both channels. If you're on my channel, click the link and go sub up my man Joey Shakes.
Shit.
Eagles Army Down Under. David Super Chat goes, with Steichen, Hurts was #1 against the blitz. Yeah, Steichen did a great job.
Because he had a quick release because you worked middle of the field. Like, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, you're forcing your quarterback to throw in harsh situations at times. And some of them, some of them were dumb. Some of them he's thrown into double coverage. There were a few picks where you're like, damn, why do you throw that? Like, it's just going to happen, dude. But, like, gotta give it another year, man.
I mean, dude, how many times? Like, it seemed like every time, and it wasn't often, but it seemed like every time they went Devontae Smith over the middle, it was a touchdown.
Even
like every time.
The Tampa Bay game was the Tampa Bay game. Cover 0 blitz, throw to Devontae Smith, middle of the field. He gets all the way to the other side. When's the last time we saw Devontae Smith have the ball in open space? I can't. Besides that one play before that, I can't even remember any of these receivers having open space. AJ Brown did early in the season, obviously, but before the bye week. And then it was really Devontae Smith's second half of the season. That's pretty much how it went, you know?
Yeah. Dad says, no, Steichen Hurts running the RPOs perfection. We got away from it. And the thing is with the RPOs, I think they're going to continue to get away from it because they want Hurts to run less and less and become more of a passer. Whether people think that that's possible or not, that's what they're going to do because they're invested so much money in him. They want his career to last. And that's what they're going to do. So it just is what it is. Shizo Davis Super Chat goes, no alphas on defense. That's an issue as well, to be honest. Yeah, you look at the defense.
No leadership.
I mean, who are your real playmakers? Like, to me, there's only really one playmaker, game changer on defense, and that was Reddick. And Reddick disappeared the second half. When Patricia took over, he kind of disappeared. But really, he's only the only guy on defense to me that makes that changes anything. Maybe Carter will develop, but he faded last year,
I think everybody on that defensive line hit a wall. I mean, everybody did. It's not even like you can't even really take one player out. I guess this Reddick has the numbers, but just like in 22, how many more sacks he would have had that year if he wasn't 25% of the time he was in pass coverage at the beginning of the season, first 6-7 games.
Right.
Imagine how much more he would have done. Imagine 70 sacks. They historically they could have beaten the record probably. They probably could have did it. So
question is will Fangio put him in coverage or will he actually rush him like he should?
I would trust putting him in coverage a lot more, and at least if Fangio knows what he's doing and how to use the guys, I would trust Reddick in coverage more because he's done it. Like they did it with Sweat too this year, and he just looked lost in space. So Nolan Smith, I would try doing the same thing. He's got that athletic ability. We know what Nolan Smith's got. with his speed and how he could run down anybody. And I think that's another, Nolan Smith has to definitely be, a huge part of this defense this year. Needs to bulk up a little bit, but
yeah. Death Row South, thank you for super chat. He goes, check out Ashton Gillette. He played with Louisville Cardinals. He had 11 sacks as a defensive lineman. He can move up and down the line. All right, we will be checking him out, no question. Youngin says we got to get C.J. Gardner-Johnson back.
Would love it.
Yeah,
love it.
I thought that a big loss was C.J. Gardner-Johnson because, I mean, he gave you kind of like a swagger on defense that they just did not have last year at all.
And to be honest with you, I would give him a few extra bucks. I mean, I would, not go crazy, but because he's been out almost the whole year. I mean, with the pectoral, whatever it was, but he, depending if Detroit has him in their future plans, I don't know, because they need to start locking up guys soon. So we'll see, but it's definitely one that I'm looking at, no doubt.
Cole says Blankenship had 3 picks this year, led the team in tackles, had a 73.4 grade via PFF. What else do you want from him? He's not a backup. A lot of teams would love to have him. Well, even 2 things. One, even if he's not a backup and he's a starter, you still need another safety.
Dude,
you still need another safety. But your safety also leading your team in tackles.
It's not the
isn't
best.
A good thing.
No.
That's a bad thing. Yeah.
Yes, cornerbacks as well. Cornerbacks having a big tackling stat is, I think, Slade's like second. I mean, it's crazy. Like it's Reed is the I guess we could say like the best out of the worst group. Like Zach Cunningham, the best out of the worst group of linebackers. But that's what we have to settle for, because why? I mean, do you not want to make him uncomfortable this offseason and put some competition in front of his face and make him play better? That's what they have to do. Don't just give him the job next year. Make these guys push.
Right.
And compete. That's what training camp is for. That's what the offseason program is for. I'm not and to be honest with you, I don't think his coverage is good. I don't think it's great either. So
to me it's not just you need a whole nother, you still need another safety. Like your safety play is so bad that you need another safety. So even if you're a believer that he's a starter, you still got to go out and get another safety. Well, you need another safety. I don't think Byard can play. It's
like people want to settle for this guy just because he did this past season. It's like, it's not good enough. Reed's a good player, but it's just not good enough. We can be better.
I think he's a rotational safety.
Yes.
I personally, that's what I think he is. But I don't think he's necessarily bad. But the problem is that when your safety's leading your team in tackles, that means you're getting nothing up front and nothing from your linebackers. I don't think that's a bad sign on how your defense is built in general. To me, I don't look at a safety leading in tackles going, that's because he's such a great safety. I go, no, that's because your defense is that bad. That these teams constantly are getting to the second level is a bad thing.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk. We'll talk about it after you read this.
Well, okay. Toryville says no chance defense will be top 5 next year. We need at least 7 players, and it will take time to gel. I wouldn't listen if they could just be top 12.
Yeah,
they'll have a chance. Okay, what?
People, I don't know, dude. I've been getting hate ever since really that 7-game stretch has been so bad. It's just
what happened? Well,
no, the 3 cross. I laughed because I thought it was funny. 3 cross Kennel says, Joey, nothing is good for you. I bet you turn off Cap on Madden, you butts. It's just.
Butts, I love it.
They have to give the philosophy needs to change. Okay, it's not me being a hater, it's me being real. I'm not going to kiss their ass because Reed Reed's one of the most violent tacklers we have, so I'm going to settle for him. They need to change their philosophy on putting more attention to safety, more attention to linebacker, more attention to keeping a running back in the building for more than a few years, if you're not drafting them, and if you're trading for somebody, a running back or whatever, like they got to do more. It's not good enough, man. It's just,
Yeah.
I don't want to settle just because, like, if you're going to settle for a player, then settle. But if there's a player that did good this past year or was the best out of the bad group, then put more competition in front of him. It's not like Reed Blankenship's getting a big hefty contract from us. Like, you're acting as if like he's getting monster money. Like, yeah, if he was getting monster money and he was a first round pick playing like shit, then yeah, sure. Yeah, I'd be really pissed right now.
Well,
you have to play him.
Didn't Alex Singleton lead a bunch of tackles? Or wait, not Singleton. Early in his career, what's his face? Nate Gary had a bunch of tackles.
Yeah.
And then people were like, he's got all these tackles, he's got all these statistics. But he stunk. He stunk. And I'm not saying Blankenship is Nate Gary. I like Blankenship. I think he's serviceable. I think he could play. And to me, to avoid argument, all right, you like Blankenship, fine. You still need another safety, though. You still don't have another safety. So you still need another one. So let's go take care of the safety spot. We both agree has a giant hole, and then we can go from there. But,
yeah,
you need a safety. You need linebackers.
You're empty, dude. You're empty at both those spots because the Eagles have been. I mean, you're playing. I had never seen a team play so many undrafted free agents in my life that come into games. Like, that's
right.
That's what happens when you don't. That's when you sign too many 1-year deals at positions. When you sign too many 1-year deals at linebacker. When you sign too many 1-year deals at safety. This is what happens. It's going to catch up to you, and because everything else is messing up, the coaching staff is totally just done. It's making it look even worse of what of these guys on the field not even being used correctly or don't have the mechanics within their position to fulfill what they could do. Like, that's what I'm getting at. It's just not. It's just not.
Yeah. No. I get it. I get it. It's gonna be interesting. Now, what was the other thing you said we didn't talk about yet?
Did we talk about the Brazil thing?
Oh, no. The Eagles are playing in Brazil. What are your thoughts on the Brazil thing?
I mean, look, at the end of the day, at least it's happening the first game. It's going to count as an Eagles home game, but at the end of the day, the Eagles still have 8 away, 8 home. Like, technically, they have 8 to 9, whatever it is. I really don't like prime time at all. I think just for me, I think just as content creators, I think we hate it more than the regular people that just watch the game. But
right.
It's a long day. It's a very long day, but getting that game out of the way for the first game is not bad. At least it's not happening during the year. I think Brazil is only 2 or 3 hours ahead of us time wise. I think I even checked it. I
they're
think
3 hours ahead of you.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's not. So it's gonna be a Friday night game, which
no, they're 2 hours ahead of you. 2 hours ahead of you.
Yeah,
2 hours.
So it's a Friday night game. So the Eagles will be the second game playing the first week.
Yeah. Fabio Davis Super Chat goes, we need a running back to help Hurts blitz block it. We totally agree with you. Totally agree. As far as the Brazil game, for me, I hate it. I absolutely despise it. You're starting the season on a Friday, 5 hours ahead of me. I mean, come on. What time is the game going to be at like 1 in the afternoon, 8 in the morning? I mean, what time? I'm going to have to take off work now because you're going to have a Friday game to start the season, and it's a home game.
It's going to be early for you.
We get one less home game.
It's going to be early for you, though.
Yeah, but if it's in the middle of the day, that means I have to take off work. I have to use vacation time because the Eagles want to play on Friday in Brazil.
You have power at your job. What are you talking about? You could get some power over there.
I don't like it. I don't like it. And I don't like giving up the extra home game. I honestly don't like giving it up because you're playing in Brazil and it's supposed to be in Philly. So your home opener is in somewhere else. I just don't like it.
Yeah, you're losing.
I understand why the league does it, and I get all that. But for personal selfish reasons, I don't like it. I hated when they played in England. I absolutely hated that. That was the worst.
6 in the morning for you, right?
Yeah, like 5:30 in the morning. I'm streaming I'm like, go Eagles.
Yeah, well, you know what? But at the end of the day, though, it happens every few years. Not even that, you know what I mean, to teams. So if the Eagles do this now, then it won't happen for a while. It normally doesn't happen. I'm not going to go crazy about it, but people are pissed off because it's the home opener. Like it's not technically it won't be the home opener. It is the home opener, but it won't be. So like the next home opener, depending on what the schedule looks like, we'll see what it looks like.
But in the course of a year, we'll get one less home game. That's how I look. And it depends who we play too. You know, like if you're playing like somebody that you know you're going to destroy, all right, fine. But if it's a decent team, that home field advantage is important. You know, you're not going to have it in Brazil.
It's even for both sides. It's even for both sides at the end of the day.
Yeah, I don't like it. Yo, along with David Super Chat, he goes, Kellen Moore head coach 2025. That's what Joey thinks could happen.
Yeah.
That's what he thinks could happen. You might be right.
I do.
Might be right. If the Eagles play the Steelers in Brazil, we're in trouble. Yeah, a game like that would bother me, you know. Do we play Carolina at home this year?
Yeah.
So, like, if you play Carolina, then, all right, it's not as bad. It shouldn't be. But, you know, I don't know. I just don't like it. And week one, it's like, I don't like, listen, I'm old. I'm old-fashioned. I hate the Thursday games. I think I don't think they should have Thursday games except for Thanksgiving. I don't like they had the Black Friday game last year. I hated that. I hate the Christmas Day game last year. I'm
hoping that they have 4. Obviously, the Sunday, the Monday, the Thursday, and besides the Friday one, they have one more. Like, so technically 4.
Yeah,
that's what I hope they have because I can't stand it. I can't stand prime time. Like I like the game early and it's done. It's over with. And
right.
Instead of waiting all day.
Yeah, like for work wise, for doing the channel, it makes it tough.
Yeah,
you know,
true.
like a Monday night game. But like, okay, that's whatever. Like, I don't want to play on Christmas Eve. I don't want to play on Christmas Day.
I know.
I don't want to play on Thanksgiving Day. I don't want to play on Thursday. I don't want to play in Brazil on Friday. I those I got things to do, man. You know.
I know. I get it.
Eagles Army down under David Super Chat goes, Philly, come on, man. I get up 2:30 a.m. Monday to watch football, then go to work. That's the most weeks. Yeah, I know, man. You got to get up. I couldn't do that. 2:30 in the morning. I would be the most miserable person ever to watch a game with. You know, like I wouldn't even be able to sleep.
You'd be a miserable fuck. You'd be a miserable asshole.
Oh my God, yeah, I would. I really would. Dude, I would have. My channel would have been shut down. It would have been shut down long ago. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. You know. 500. You should check out the corner from Iowa. His name is Harry Prosky. I'll check him out.
Oh, it's that time of the year.
Yeah. Yo, along with David Super Chat goes, Eagles going to spank the Niners next time, mark my words. I hope so. I can't wait to beat that crap out of that team. You know. Fabio David Super Chat goes, I want to see the Eagles on Hard Knocks and expose Nick. Now, I wouldn't mind the Eagles being on Hard Knocks. That would never bother me. But I don't think they'll do it. I don't think
that would be a lot more content to put out.
that would be so much more content. I would probably just stream my reaction to the show every week. I don't know what I would do, but
yeah.
They would be interesting to cover. Cheyenne, member for 20 months, thank you so much. I watched Meadowlands 2 in Dubai at 4 a.m. Worth it. Oh, well, yeah, that game would have been worth it. I mean, that's a classic game. You know, they should put a bye week before every team's play on Thursday Night Football. It would give the players time to recover from injuries, and it would give us another week of football. Yeah, that's true. I wouldn't mind that either. Plus, the other problem with the Thursday games, when all these teams play Thursday games, man, they're not good games. They're never good games, ever, except for maybe Thanksgiving. Otherwise, they're just not good games.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many bad Thursday night games I do where by halftime, it's like, will this game just be over soon? Seriously.
Yeah, I get it.
Sydney Fountain says, I would get angry pills out for tackling practice. Does all season. Dang, right?
Yeah.
I hate Philly $1 million, or you're the GM for this draft. Give me the $1 million.
Yeah. Give me the money, dude.
Give me the money. I'll take it. I want the Eagles to start Ringo, Rodgers, probably Slayer, Rick. So I would be okay with cornerback in the first round. So you wouldn't be okay with a cornerback in the first round and find a way to fire Bradbury.
Yeah.
You think Bradbury's going to get cut?
100%.
Yeah, I do too. I think he's gone. He kind of posted something on IG, right?
Yeah.
So what was that whole thing about?
It was a picture of him walking out of the Seattle game, exiting the tunnel with his head down. I don't know what that meant, but hopefully he's gone. I think
Bradbury, I think that Super Bowl play destroyed his confidence. That's my theory, anyways, because I don't think he was ever the same after that. Eagles Army down under favor super chat. He goes, nah, man, I loved waking up early to watch 17 wide receiver screens. 250-year-old wide receiver spinning block was worth it. Oh my god, dude, I would have killed. Dude, I wouldn't be able to take it, dude. Joey, this dude keeps asking. Thank you for the super chat. He keeps asking, where are your draft reactions?
Yeah, I don't know. Tomorrow I'll have some.
He's going to have them tomorrow. It's a big compilation. Torville says, do you think the front office is going to try to move Covey because Covey has been talking? The Eagles front office tends to be secretive and probably doesn't want him to say anything. I don't think so.
No.
I mean, Covey's turning into a pretty good player, a return guy. I would actually like to see them try to figure out a way to incorporate him more into the offense. I think he could be used in certain situations. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean, I know he didn't say anything horrible, but I think he just discussed. He didn't really throw any. He didn't put names out there. As long as he didn't put names out there, he's fine. Like, but there's nothing wrong with discussing what's happened. It's the off season for a lot of these players now, and they're kind of discussing. We're gonna find out some things. It's gonna happen, and there's nothing wrong with a player, venting about it. And then somebody commented and said, "Oh, what does Covey know?" I was like, dude, like. Covey's around, regardless of how much playing time Covey has, he's around the team every day. He knows, like, he hears everything that's going on in the locker room. Like, there's been talks, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, along with David Super Check is Luke Kuechly or Patrick Willis?
PW is nice.
That is really hard. I like Kuechly a lot. I would probably have to slightly lean Patrick Willis. But I mean, I think they're both really good.
Yeah,
I just like
tough.
I Patrick Willis, man. But they both kind of retired early, didn't they?
Another Fangio disciple that loved his coaching.
Yeah, if you could get some of the linebackers that Fangio has had on this team, we would be good to go. You know what I mean? And that's the thing is he's always in a lot of places he's had decent linebackers. I cannot see him going to the Eagles and not getting a linebacker. I think they're going to get a linebacker. Dude.
If he's running his own scheme, I mean, if he's running his own scheme, like, you got to have the right players that can run the scheme. And right now, it's not with this roster right now, it's not going to pan out. So
right, yeah. Listen, Luke Kuechly is awesome. There's no doubt. Can't feel Eric Allen got snubbed. I know. I saw it. He got snubbed at Hall of Fame again. One day he'll get in, but they just keep. If he was a Cowboy, he would have been in years ago. That's the truth. It's a shame, Beauty is her name. Says Covey is on the team, and he has every right to speak about what's going on with the team. He is an active player, someone we depended on throughout the year. I agree.
Just stop posting those TikToks of, like, your wife that's 5 foot taller than you picking you up and stuff. It's really weird. But
what?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
People remember this during the season. There were like a bunch of TikToks him and his wife are doing. His wife is like a lot taller than he is, and she was like picking him up like a baby around the house and stuff. Yeah, it was
Really?
a bunch of video.
Like
Yes.
a baby, like hey, Cole,
Yes.
don't hurt your ankle.
Yes.
Damn.
Yes.
Yeah. If my wife was bigger than me, I'd have some serious problems. that would be bad.
Nice.
That would be bad. Oh man.
What are you reminiscing?
I'm thinking of things, but I can't say it on here because it's probably too crude. So I'll just
Covey's good though, man. Covey's one of the most I think he's real respectful player. A lot of respect within the organization with him as a player, and can't wait for more.
Yeah. Yo, Lon with Devers super chat. He goes, "Would you guys bring back Jordan Hicks to pair with Dean?" I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I like Jordan Hicks what he did, but I think I would go a little different route than Jordan Hicks.
Yeah.
Jordan Hicks still wasn't he hurt last year again?
Yeah, he got hurt again. Yeah.
He's another guy.
He came back though. I think he came back from injury though.
Yeah, he must have 5 pounds of.
Who are we talking?
I just walked right into that one. I was thinking of food, and I'm like, oh, I just got what he was saying. He's talking about Covey, and why his wife so much. Why she's with him, basically.
I don't know.
For some reason, Torteville says the voters don't seem to value the Eagles players that much. Carmichael should have been in over 15 years ago. If Kelsey isn't a first ballot, it will be crime. Yeah, Kelsey. I think Kelsey will be a first ballot. But yeah, how did Carmichael take so long?
He's not in the Hall of Fame?
No, he is now, but it took a long time, and he should have been in there a long time ago. I mean, other receivers went in before him. Should never have happened. Eric Allen will get in eventually, but I just don't know how much longer he's going to have to wait, So we'll see. Well, we're an hour and 20 minutes in. We still have over 500 people in the chat, so thank you guys so much. Anything else, man, you say before we get on out of here?
We watched the Super Bowl, and we're gonna wait until the first bit of business we need to find out. Obviously, well, I mean, we want to see what they do with this roster, and what's the plan moving guys around, freeing up cap space. What is it going to look like by the time free agency comes? So, I mean, that's going to be really the first bit of business we're going to watch out for. Right. Any other coaching hires? I guess we'll see position wise what's really left right now, but we're kind of looking to see what they're doing with this roster after tomorrow.
Also, we've got to remember one thing too is that you got the combine coming up pretty soon too. So we're a couple weeks away from the combine, so that should be pretty interesting. I'll definitely try to take off a couple days and stream that. And if you want to do a Philly Shakedown, we could talk about that. I think we did that last year, didn't we?
We streamed the combine last year, I think.
Yeah, so we could do that again. This year. It'll be interesting. I think we're in for a very aggressive off season for the Eagles. I think they're going to be very active, and I think you're going to see a lot of moves. I really do. I don't think you bring all that experience in if you're not planning on making a lot of moves and doing a lot of things. So I think the Eagles are going to be very busy. I do.
Yeah, same.
And I will be streaming for those. I will be streaming the Super Bowl tomorrow. So if you guys want to come hang out with me, we'll be watching it, rooting for Kansas City. I will be rooting for Kansas City because I just can't go for the 49. I just can't, dude. After all the shit they talk, let them go out the way we went out last year. That would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
So
true that.
It should be interesting. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna get out of here. Thank you guys so much. Wait, let's see. Walter Hurst says, I do have a question. What's your question? Shoot your question. If you could do it real quick. Sharon says, not to get off topic, when the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, I bet you Travis Kelce proposes to Taylor on national TV.
Oh, God.
Yeah, probably. Probably. I wish it would have been. I wish if it would have been Chiefs Detroit, that would have been so much more interesting.
Yeah.
Matt Weeks says I'll be rooting for neither of them because F them both. Unfortunately, somebody's got to win. And I would rather it not be the 49ers because I don't want to hear that. Can you imagine their fans all season? See, we told you that if Purdy didn't get hurt, we would have won and beat you. And,
Yeah.
I can't deal with that all season. I don't want to deal with it,
Hopefully it's a
All right.
slippery field, and hopefully the refs are on the KC side. That's all I can hope for.
Right? Yeah. Walter says, if they're bringing in all experienced coaches, you had the same season, and you had the same season you had before, and you cannot blame Nick on the play calling. Who do you blame on if they had the same? Well, I mean, it depends how things go, and it depends who you get, and it depends how your all season goes. I mean, obviously, if Nick's not calling the plays, and you have your coordinators calling the plays, and you still have the same problem, I mean, you got to look at some of the players.
Yeah,
some of it you have to look at the players.
Yeah, I mean, if we see we'll know from how they run the offense if it looks similar to last year. If it's 85%, 90% similar with a couple different things, you're going to see that it's going to be a lot of Nick, but it's going to be a lot on Nick at that point. Right. But if we see trust me, we're going to know. We're going to know.
Yeah, well, the thing is they only had a few plays that they ever run. You knew when Hurts was in 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, and he was empty set shotgun. You knew he was running. Everybody in the world knew he was going to run. Quarterback draw up the middle. Their plays were so basic last year that if they just change a few things, I don't think you'll see a situation like that again. I really don't.
No, I don't either.
We'll see, So, all right, guys. Well, we're going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much. You guys take care. And, of course, don't be a dingbat. And we will see you later.
Yeah.
Peace.
Plenty of time.
Come on.
Oh, shit! Dad! No!
It's over. It's over. This game is over. Cut it off. It's over.
Fuck.
Congratulations, Green Bay. Congratulations, Green Bay. Congratulations, Green Bay.
I said run the ball.
Congratulations, Green Bay. Dak Prescott, you need to be fired today. That was on you, Dak. That was on you, Dak. That was on you, Dak.
I said run the ball.
That was on Dak Prescott. Trying to defend the CeeDee Lamb. Trying to defend the CeeDee Lamb. You tried to defend the CeeDee Lamb. You got to give it to CeeDee Lamb. God. It's over. It's over, Dak. Put Trey Lance in the game. Trey Lance can't do worse than you.
I'm an idiot because I buy into this shit. Because here's the thing. I am a grown-ass man. And I talk the talk. It is killing me.
I feel it coming. I feel like it's going to take Jerry Jones taking. Cut it off. It's over.